The Managerial Revolution by James Burnham is a seminal work that delves into the transformation of society and economy in the 20th century. Burnham argues that the traditional class structure based on ownership of capital, land, factories, and machinery has been replaced by a new class structure dominated by a managerial elite. This revolutionary shift has profound implications for politics, economics, and social order. The book begins by outlining the traditional class structure, which consists of three classes: the capitalist class, owners of capital; the working class, wage laborers; and the middle class, petty bourgeoisie. According to Burnham, this structure emerged during the Industrial Revolution and persisted throughout much of the 19th and early 20th centuries. However, he contends that by mid-century, this system was in crisis due to the rise of large-scale industrial organizations and the increasing importance of administrative and technical expertise in running them. The Managerial Revolution, as Burnham terms it, is the result of this crisis. It occurs when the capitalist class, unable to effectively manage their own enterprises, begins to rely on a new class of professional managers. These managers, drawn from the ranks of the middle class, possess specialized knowledge and skills in areas such as accounting, marketing, production, and personnel management. As the role of capitalists becomes increasingly ceremonial, they are gradually displaced by the managerial elite. This shift has far-reaching consequences for the nature of power and authority in society. Traditionally, power was vested in the capitalist class, who owned the means of production and employed workers. The working class, while not possessing economic power, could exert influence through collective action, such as strikes and unionization. The middle class, while not owning capital, enjoyed a measure of autonomy and security due to their small-scale businesses and professional status. Under the new managerial system, however, power is concentrated in the hands of a small elite who control large organizations. This managerial class, while not owning capital, holds real economic and political power by virtue of their expertise and ability to coordinate complex economic activities. The working class, now organized into large bureaucracies, loses much of its collective power and becomes more dependent on the managerial elite for employment and benefits. The middle class, reduced to a salariat of white-collar workers, finds itself increasingly integrated into the managerial system and subject to its authority. Burnham identifies several key features of the Managerial Revolution. 1. The rise of large-scale industrial organizations. As economies of scale become increasingly important, businesses grow larger and more complex. This necessitates specialized management expertise to coordinate and control these organizations. 2. The separation of ownership and control. The managerial elite, while not owning capital, controls it through their managerial role. This separation creates a conflict between the interests of capitalists, who seek maximum profits, and the interests of managers, who seek stability and long-term growth. 3. The professionalization of management. Managers acquire specialized knowledge and skills through education and training, distinguishing them from the traditional capitalist class. 4. The bureaucratization of work. As organizations grow larger, work becomes more routinized and specialized, requiring a hierarchical structure to coordinate efforts. This leads to the development of large bureaucracies staffed by salaried workers. 5. The internationalization of capitalism. The Managerial Revolution facilitates the growth of multinational corporations, which operate across national borders and are managed by a global elite. Burnham's analysis of the Managerial Revolution has important implications for politics and social order. He argues that the traditional capitalist worker-middle-class division is no longer adequate to describe the new class structure. Instead, he proposes a two-class model: the managerial elite and the propertyless masses. This new class structure creates a potential for conflict between the two classes, as the managerial elite seeks to maintain its power and control over the economy. The book also discusses the potential for democratization within the managerial system. Burnham acknowledges that some members of the managerial class may support democratic reforms, but he argues that the inherent conflict between capitalists and managers, as well as the need for stability and efficiency in large organizations, will limit the extent of democratization. He predicts that the result will be a form of managerial democracy in which the managerial elite retains real power while allowing for some degree of political participation by the masses. In conclusion, The Managerial Revolution by James Burnham is a seminal work that provides a comprehensive analysis of the transformation of society and economy in the 20th century. Burnham's insights into the rise of the managerial class, the separation of ownership and control, and the internationalization of capitalism remain relevant today as we continue to grapple with the implications of this revolutionary shift. The book is essential reading for anyone interested in understanding the complexities of modern capitalism and the forces that shape our political and social institutions.